Take seats. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
What a great day this is, right?
Yes, sir.
We are very honored today to have such a distinguished speaker. Our speaker has been the Secretary of Defense, and he is distinguished in having that post by being the only person to be the Secretary of Defense serving 2 consecutive presidents. He has also been the Director of the Central Intelligence Agency, also with the distinction of having reached that high position in starting work at the Central Intelligence Agency at an entry-level position and working his way up to be the Director. He is the past National President of the Boy Scouts of America. He is an Eagle Scout. He is a recipient of the Distinguished Eagle Scout Award, the Silver Buffalo Award. He is a Vigil Honor member of the Order of the Arrow. Throughout his distinguished career, he has been the recipient of the National Security Medal, the President's Civilian Medal, the National Intelligence Service Medal 3 times. He has 3 times been the recipient of the Distinguished Intelligence Service Medal, the highest medal that the CIA presents, and he's the recipient of the President's Freedom Medal, the highest medal that a civilian can receive from our nation. It is a great honor for me to introduce to you our speaker, former Secretary of Defense, Dr. Mark Dennis.
Just wanted to share a few thoughts with you. I won't take much of your time. First of all, I know you're all scouts. I would tell you that with all the resume that the Colonel described, the one thing he left out was that I was also the president of Texas A&M. But I would tell you that when I was your age, I was not a straight A student. I was not particularly a leader in my high school. I was involved in sports, but wasn't very good at it. And I wasn't much of a student leader. And the same thing was pretty much true when I was in college. And 51 years ago, when I started work at the CIA at the age of 22, when I arrived in Washington, everything I owned was in the back seat of my car, and I didn't know anybody, and I didn't have any connections. And the only thing that I had done at that point in my life that led me to think I might be a leader was to earn my Eagle Scout badge. And scouting always played a huge role in my life. And I tried to use the things that I had learned in scouting as I became a leader in different organizations. I once told, in fact, I've told a lot of people, the only management course I ever had in my entire life was going to the National Youth Leadership Training Program at Philmont Scout Ranch. I said, nothing teaches leadership more than trying to get a bunch of 12 and 13-year-old boys to do what they don't want to do. You can't make them do it, and you're only a year older than they are. So the leadership skills that you're learning here at the Academy and in scouting will serve you well. About a year and a half ago, I gave a graduation address to 105 new Green Berets at Fort Bragg. And after that, I went out to observe survival training for those trying to become Green Berets, special forces. And they were showing me the various survival skills they were teaching the soldiers, and putting their building a tent out of their poncho and putting leaves around it. digging holes so you could build a fire that had no smoke, teaching them how to cook roadkill so it didn't kill you, and so on. And I asked one of the instructors one time, so can you tell the difference between the soldiers who have been Boy Scouts and those who haven't? And he kind of looked at me and laughed, and he said, "No, Boy Scouts already know how to do most of this stuff when they arrive at Green Beret training." So it was an indication of just how much you can learn in scouting. So I wish you well on that path. And I think the lessons you will learn will be very important. The other message that I wanted to convey to you is that, and really the reason for telling you about my inauspicious beginnings was that as you get as old as I am and you look back on your life, you see that lots of decisions that you made when you come to forks in the road that don't seem very important at the time, you look back a long time later and you discover how incredibly important they were. So for example, I was recruited by CIA out of the Russian and East European Institute at Indiana University. And the only reason I agreed to go see the recruiter was to get a free trip to Washington, D.C. I saw the whole thing as a lark, just a weekend to have fun in D.C. And all of a sudden, it changed the whole course of my life. So the two things that I would encourage you to do is to always be on the lookout for opportunities, to always understand that the choices you make determine often the course of the rest of your life. And so in that connection, one of the things that is most important to you and to your future is to protect your integrity, to protect your honor. And no matter what you do in life, the real leaders lead with integrity. And that is your words and your actions match. And when people see that you do what you say you will do, and that you believe in what you're doing, it gives you moral authority. And it's moral authority that will move people to follow you, whether you're in the military or business or anything else, will move people to follow you even at personal risk and personal sacrifice. So keeping your honor intact, maintaining your integrity is critically important. The other message that I would have for you is that many of you will have amazing opportunities. You come from good families, you have opportunities that a lot of people won't have. The thing that you must understand is that whether or not you go into the military or CIA or some other kind of public service, what is really important for you is to make sure that service to others always is a component of your life. You don't have to be full-time in public service to make a contribution. So as you go through life, as you get out of college and take advantage of opportunities and become successful, always remember to reach out and help other people in your community. And know that, as the first President Bush once said, no life is complete without public service. So with that, I wish you all well. Congratulations for being here. I wish you every success. And I hope you'll try and bear in mind a couple of things I've said. Thanks a lot.
Well, good morning, sir. As you know, the Marine Military Academy and the Boy Scouts of America both have missions that overlap a great deal. One area where this is evident is in the development of leadership in young men. What key leadership attributes developed as both a scout and an MMA cadet have you found to be the most important to your own success as both president of a major university and Secretary of Defense for the United States?
I think that it mainly is in how you treat other people, that you treat others with respect and dignity. As I like to say, whether you lead 3 people or 3 million, as I did in the Defense Department, you can be the toughest, most demanding boss on the planet and still treat everybody with respect and dignity. And I think that's what scouting teaches. And I think that that and the importance of having others involved in the decision-making process, getting the points of view of other people, listening to other people, these are all qualities of leadership and decision-making that I think are taught both in scouting and at the Marine Military Academy.
Thank you, sir. And what advice would you give to scouts and cadets as they prepare for college in a world that is increasingly intertwined economically, politically, and educationally?
Well, actually, I think that the answer in some respects is the same as the answer to the first question. Because it's an increasingly diverse world and increasingly a globalized world, knowing how to interact and deal with other people, people from different cultures, people of different ethnicities, people who don't speak the same language, and figuring out how to get along with those people and develop cooperative relationships, I think, is critically important for us as a country and, frankly, for making any progress on dealing with problems around the world.
Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure.